What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Cardano today, ADA. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, you guys, and let's get into it, okay? Here we are at about 96, 97 cents right now. We look at this relative high here to the relative low that we just had. Oof. Went all the way up to the 1414, back down to the 100. We're finding a little turbulence on the 1272 now, but I very much expect that we break this with this I would say this is a very bullish consolidation phase here, not just from a price perspective. I mean, that looks high and tight in itself, but also just where you are in the fibs here. Finding support on the 100, not even going below there. That is very, very bullish. You're effectively finding support right at your previous most relative area of resistance, and that's always a bullish sign. Fibs or not, that's a bullish sign. But in the fibs specifically, what this likely means is that you will not stop at your next target, right? You stopped here, your next target would be the 1618. You will not stop there, but go to the next zone at a minimum, at least, which would be $2.10 to $2.38. You're at 9 cents now. So this, I would expect, comes into full fruition by the end of either February, if not sometime in the middle of March. You know, we haven't really gotten moving. It is getting to the end of the month. I suspect that if we don't move up by the end of this week, if we don't see some life, certainly if we don't see life in the markets by the end of next week, then all of my targets that I've been predicting for it to occur by the end of February, I think could and probably should get moved back until about the mid of March, and maybe even later than that, you guys. There are a lot of bullish kind of events going on in March, I think, and there's a lot of things pointing to March being a potential high area. There's also a lot of things pointing to the end of February too, so it's a little conflicting there. We'll see how it goes, but my point being that soon we will break out of this, and regardless of is it the end of February, is it the middle of March, the minimum target would be 238 to 210. You're at 96 cents now, so relatively short amount of time for pretty decent. I say minimum target because that is the minimum target. You absolutely could, with this bullish kind of trajectory here, go all the way up to your 2272. Okay, you're finding a lot of significance on this 1272. You might go up and find significance on the 2272. You tend to see relationships build that way in the fibs, right? You found resistance at the 1414, maybe you go up to the 2414. I don't have here, but it's probably in between the 2272 and the 2618, which would mean that ADA could be going up to about $4 or $3.60 or somewhere in between by the end of this next move. But I personally suspect at least $2.10, likely something around $3.19, right around your all-time highs. That's my expectation personally. And if we look at this relative high here to the relative low on this fib level, you can see that the 61869 area, the white zone here, is where you found resistance. Based off of this fib itself, the next likely target area would be the 786 to the 886 zone, okay? But I will say this also, just based on this, is a very high and tight bullish, very bullish consolidation, right? You didn't really go below the 50 at all. You just held right here, and you're wound up, man. I very much think you would at least hit the 886, which is at about 230. The 786 is at $1.80, but I don't think you stop there. I would think you would at least go here, and it's very uncommon. However, it does happen. Normally you stop here. It's very uncommon that you don't stop here, but sometimes you do just go right through your 886 and you see the 100 level. Sometimes you do. I don't suspect that if you were to break through your 886 that you would just go all the way up to this 1272. I don't think that you would, but I do suspect that you could stop around your all-time highs. From your current price now, you're at 96 cents. So that's just my thoughts. I don't really know if I have anything else to say on that like kind of longer term time frame. So let's merge it down to the shorter term time frames and then wrap this video up, okay? So looking at this here on a 3-day time frame, by the way, actually on a weekly basis, I like your RSI. As long as your RSI is staying above the 60 here, I like that. If you go below, it's okay, right? You had a little lower than the 60 here, and that was fine. But I like this right now. You look very poised and postured to see an immaculate move up right here. And I compared this once before. Here you made a move, very nice move, all the way up into the overbought zone like this. Topped off, you pulled back, and then you saw a slightly higher high right once you got back into the overbought zone. This time you're doing a very similar thing. You ran up, you pulled back, but instead of seeing a lower high in your RSI, I suspect you'll see a higher high or something of equivalent magnitude, and you won't see a run. This next run I don't think is going to top around here. I genuinely think it'll be bigger. This right here, what you did, this is not what was expected. Everything you had here suggested you should have gone further. This was a fake out. So if you don't get that exception, if you don't get that less common maneuver of a fake out, and you get what the charts are telling you to do, you would likely see a more substantial move than this. And the only target area that you would stop to, if you were to see something more substantial, would be around $2.30, if not higher. Likely will go I think 280, 320, somewhere around there, if not even just a little bit higher there. That's my personal opinion. Looking at the 4-hour time frame though, the RSI, if the question comes to mind, is it a good time to buy? I think it's a good time to buy. I think it's a fairly fine time to buy, especially if you're DCAing. But if you're looking to catch that exact low, my guess would be sure maybe it goes a little bit lower. The 4-hour RSI has definitely suggested that we could go lower. I want to look at the 1-hour time frame too. The 1 hour, you know, I don't know. The 1 hour makes me think you could be forming some kind of triple bottom. Interesting. Triple bottoms are pretty rare in themselves, but it could happen. I want to look at something with some volume. I wonder if you've got like if we're looking at this next chart, okay? I'm just drawing here, okay? You see something like a lot of volume over here, not a lot of volume here, and then more volume than what you saw over here. Like if it's like this was not any volume at all, and then this was a lot of volume and still nothing happened, I think that's bullish. Okay, a lot of volume here or not, that doesn't really matter. Okay, but I want to see. Let's look at something with volume here. Probably on USDT, something with more volume. Well, that's even better, actually. That's even better. Moving low without any volume at all is totally fine. I think it would have been more bullish, to be completely fair, if you saw a lot of volume here on this drop and you didn't move lower, you actually saw a higher high. I think that would be more bullish, but overall, I don't mind this. Generally, when it comes to consolidation phase, you know you're at your end of your consolidation phase when the volume dies off. So we're definitely at the end of it. Will we break to the downside or to the upside? That remains to be seen. It wouldn't make sense to me that we break to the downside, so I'm going to go with the upside on that note. The 1 hour is what gave it away. The 4 hour, looking at the 4 hour, I was literally about to say, and it could happen, it could still happen, don't get me wrong, high to low or low to high here. I was about to say we're going to go down to about 93 cents to 90 cents because the 4 hour makes me think that. But I genuinely think actually you're forming a triple bottom here. The 1 hour RSI looks somewhat productive. It looks resilient to the downside. It does not want to go lower. You're getting these higher lows here coming in. I think you would have been oversold already if you were to have made this move down. You're getting ready. You're kind of consolidating here at the end in your 1 hour RSI. You might ping pong, but this would essentially tell us that either by the end of today or sometime tomorrow, you guys, XRP, sorry, not XRP, ADA, I'm sorry, ADA, Cardano. I know that's a sin, man. It's like I just blasphemed right there. Cardano likely breaks out and moves up higher either today or tomorrow, right? From this 97-cent area. When I say it breaks out, that doesn't mean it's going to be at like $5. I just mean it'll be probably back above $1.03 either today or tomorrow. And then likely that bodes well for the weekend. If the weekend does not perform well, then maybe we'll have a stagnant weekend going into a bullish week to start the next week. I don't know, but that's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I really appreciate you all for being here. Cardano definitely has a lot of room to grow. I think it will. And that's all. So take care. Bye-bye.